Good morning, folks. This is Greg Judy at Green Pastures Farm. We're just made a mob move and walking up through the patch that they're going to be on. Yeah, come on, look at this tree. This is a redbud, which is one of my favorite trees in the springtime. It's just a great signal that spring is here. And the morel mushrooms are coming up, and the turkeys are gobbling, and the grass is growing, and the clover exploding out of the ground, and mostly winter is behind us. So yeah, that's one reason it's my favorite tree. We do have some autumn olives in here. I've left these. There's several. There's 1, 2, 3 right here. These are invasive, but I'm not letting them spread. I leave them here because they do make some good cover, especially in the summertime. The cows like rubbing on them, laying underneath them. The deer graze the new shoots that come out on the bottom part of the tree. And it is just another species. You know, I like to attract and use what nature gives us, and nature gave us that. I'm not crazy about autumn olive, but I don't mind a few of them. And you can see right here, there's a few new ones coming on, and those trees there are in trouble because the sheep, when the sheep come in here, they'll just absolutely strip every leaf off of that. So they're a good sheep feed. Sheep love autumn olive. They prefer honey locust. Honey locust is number 1, the leaves, and then they'll go after the multifer rose bush. That's number 2, and I would say autumn olive is right in there. So the boys just took them down a bluff over there in that woods and brought them into this. This is an old CRP field that we took out, and it's coming. It's really starting to turn around. And it was in CRP for it might have been 2 contracts, 20 years. I know it was in there 10. Could have been 20, I don't remember. But there was nothing in here. It was just a dead thatch. And there was no grass, no clover. It wasn't capturing any solar energy. And right across the fence, this is the eastern gamma grass field. It's too early for the gamma to be showing itself, but here in another month, it'll be coming up out there. Right now it's fescue and clover, and the sheep are up there on top. We're gonna be bringing them into here in about another 10 days, and they go across the road over there where that truck's parked. And we've got a 20-acre paddock there that we're gonna be lambing on. So we'll be strip grazing them across that 20 acres as they have their baby lambs. And we're going to get almost 2 weeks out of that 20 acres by strip grazing it and not putting up a back fence. That way the new mothers can just drift. Well, there's a pretty calf. The new mothers with their babies can just drift into the flock when the babies get up and sucking and stuff like that. That little calf is just staring me down. There he goes. When they do that, folks, you know they're getting good milk. This bottom though, it's a project. You know, we started out with nothing, just a lot of broom sedge, and you can still see some of the broom sedge. Not so much right here. And that fence row, the brown grass there, some of that's just stockpile, but you see a reddish colored plant, that's broom sedge. I'm surprised. I mean, there's just hardly any left. There's one poor old broom sedge plant here holding out. There it is. I got one. There it is. I don't mind having one. I don't want 50,000 of them though. Folks, if you got broom sedge on your farm, or if you're looking at a piece of ground and it's got a lot of broom sedge, you've got a lot of work cut out for you getting rid of that. Yeah, honey, I'm not gonna bother you, calf. I'm just walking. You better go find her, though. That cow got busy grazing and saw me. It's like, I'm gonna go. That's the first calf heifer. Boy, is that a pretty sight or what? Yeah, this is what it's all about, folks. Letting the cows feed themselves. I was on a farm here a couple weeks ago, and the guy must have had 15 5-gallon buckets in the back of his side-by-side, and they're all full of corn, ground corn. And I don't know what all was in there. It was a mix, and I mean, every animal looked like they really needed to be in the confinement. They looked like they were pigs. They were just absolutely gorging themselves on that grain and standing in muck. And you just tell the cattle were lifeless. They didn't have any meaning. They were just, I don't know. You just tell they weren't like this. Okay. These animals are very anxious to move. This is what animals do. They graze. You can see 212 there. Look at her. She's really starting to slick off. Her neck, the winter hair coat's coming off there. In probably 3 weeks, they're going to look a lot different. Well, that's going to be about the time of our grazing school, first week of May. And it's going to be good to get rid of all that rough looking winter hair. This is the old CRP. This was the briar patch right here, and you can still see the briars. These are the old ones that I did brush hog this last year. The first year I came in here and brush hogged this, folks, these briars are so tall that I had to back the tractor into them with the brush hog. If you'd have went forward, you'd have ripped all the hoses off your tractor. I mean, it was that thick. It was awful. But you know what? They're going bye-bye, and the grass, you stay on those things, just kind of keep chopping on them, and with the help of the cattle, pretty soon you've got control of the brambles. But you won't get control of them without animals. You can brush hog those things until you're 100 years old. You're probably not going to get rid of them. You got to have animals. And what the animals do is they come in and trample a lot of that, and then the new shoots that come up, they're trimming on them, especially the sheep. The sheep will work over blackberry new growth. Once it gets real tall and mature, they don't like it as much. That black cow, she's starting to shed on her butt. This cow, that's a heifer. She's starting to shed. Boy, that looks like a brand new calf in front of us. Just kind of tell the way he's walking. Not very old, maybe a day old. They're really starting to pop out now. Every time we come to move the cows, we've got new calves. So we got to stay on top of that, make sure we keep the tags in them. And so, why do we tag our calves? Well, it's imperative to tag them. You've got to tag them. Because if you don't, you don't know which calf goes with which cow. That is I thought it was a brand new calf. Boy, he's a healthy looking brute. He sucked. Man, what a calf. I don't want to get any closer to him. Boy, oh boy, he's been licked off. His little paunches are full. And Mom is so busy eating grass, she hasn't balled back to him yet. But the boys, before they moved them off that hill up there, we write down the calf tag numbers, and that way we know we've got them all before we open the gate. You just walk up there and indiscriminately open your gate, and you've got some new calves out there. They're probably standing right next to their mother. You open that gate, it's a terrible urge for the cows to go forward, and they'll take off with the mob, and now you've got some stranded little baby calves back there that you cannot pair up. It's going to take you a while to get them paired up. So just take a minute, walk through your cows, write down all the calf tag numbers, and if you got one that doesn't have a tag, it's pretty darn easy to find out who it is. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and sign out of here. It's a beautiful morning out here on some green grass, and we'll see y'all down the road. Hit that subscribe button on the way out if you would. Thank you.